After my ex moved on without a pause, I found a man who looked just like him at a bar. Right when I was about to pay to book the handsome dancer, my best friend whispered that he was actually the Crown Prince of South City. I laughed. Since when do crown princes dance in bars? Then I swung an arm around her and grinned. Come on, want to watch His Royal Highness dance? Katie, run. The man you took home last night is Patrick Jones, the Crown Prince of South City. His people are already turning the city upside down looking for him. Emma's message jolted me awake, and I barely resisted the urge to throw my phone across the room. Still squinting, I read the texts, and my eyes widened in disbelief. Crown Prince? Patrick? I scoffed and tossed my phone aside. Anyone in the industry knew Patrick was the classic aloof CEO type, so uptight he wouldn't step into a hotel room unless it had been sanitized 3 times over. And yet, this was the man I had picked up from a bar last night. When I found him, he was dancing like fire incarnate. That waist. Those hips. Those legs. A literal masterpiece. Even now, just thinking about it made my mouth water. I glanced at the sleeping man on the couch with something close to fondness. Long lashes cast faint shadows over his cheeks. His job might be all about indulgence, yet he looked cool and aloof, like he belonged in an art museum, not on a pole. I marveled at my own self-control. To resist such a beauty and not devour him whole? Even saved on paying extra. Just as I was about to sneak in one last grope, the man opened his eyes. I thought you hated me, remember? So what exactly are you doing now? Hate you? He raised a brow. Yeah. When you threw your bank card at me, didn't even bother to get my name right. I froze. Bits and pieces of last night began trickling back into my mind. Sure, I get a little crazy when I drink. But not crazy enough to just abduct any good-looking stranger. What truly pushed me over the edge was how much he resembled Daniel, his figure, his aura, even his quiet arrogance. And the reason I'd even gone to that bar last night was because I'd just found out Daniel had already moved on, seamlessly, without a pause, after our breakup. Anyone would lose control if they saw someone who looked exactly like the ex who just replaced them overnight. You'd want revenge. To torment them a little. So yes, I dragged this guy to a hotel. Threw money at him like he was a performer. Shouted Daniel's name while demanding he give me a night of hip grinding. Ugh. I wanted to slap myself. What kind of karmic joke had I pulled on my own head? I glanced at the dark circles under his eyes and guiltily began edging toward the door. I'm really sorry. I'll make it up to you. You must be starving after last night. I'll go get us breakfast. Just as I was slipping out like a thief, his voice sounded behind me. My name's Patrick. Try not to get it wrong next time, Got it. Next time, I'll hit you up when I'm free. As the door clicked shut behind me, a cold sweat broke out across my back. If I had just slept with Patrick, fine, we were both consenting adults. But I didn't just sleep with him. I paid him. Insulted him. Made him dance provocatively for me all night. And then I remembered what Emma had once said with a sneer, you don't know? The last girl who tried to get into President Jones's bed got shipped off to Africa. I shuddered. Clearly, I couldn't stay in the capital anymore. Time to lay low. Right on cue, my manager called. Katie, Love Quartet starts filming today. If you dare ghost me, I'll blacklist you across the entire internet. Crap. How did I forget about that? Love Quartet was an old-school romance reality show, backed by enormous capital. Even someone like Patrick would have to tread carefully if he wanted to investigate. Best part? To build authentic chemistry, the show required full isolation during filming. 4 episodes. Spanning 1 full year. If I stuck around as a special guest, by the time the year ended, Patrick, busy as he was, probably wouldn't even remember whether I was a man or a woman. It was fate giving me an escape route. Grinning, I slid into the car, only for my manager to snap at me before my butt even warmed the seat. You better behave yourself. It wasn't easy getting you on as a special guest. You're there to support Lily Gray, don't start any drama, got it? I waved him off. Relax. I'd be an idiot to say no to money. Honestly, I did have a bone to pick about playing second fiddle. After all, Lily's on-screen partner was none other than my seamless transition ex, Daniel. But she was offering way too much. The company allocated me a cool 3 million yuan. Hard to say no to that. When someone feeds you, you bite your tongue. They want me to play her sidekick? Fine. They want me to get Daniel drunk and toss him into her bed? I'd do it with a smile and a bow. My manager jabbed me in the forehead. There are 2 special guests this season. You know what to do. I crossed my legs and feigned hesitation. I can't control my partner, unless... I rubbed my fingers together with a cheeky smile. He rolled his eyes. One day, you're going to get buried under your own money. I chuckled. Thanks for the blessing. I was the last to arrive on set. When I got there, Lily was already interacting with the audience. "What's your relationship with the best actor?" Lily smiled confidently. "No relationship. Money comes first. Slay the crush later." She mimed drawing a sword, cool and graceful all at once. The audience lost their minds. My OTP is real. Lily said Daniel is her crush. Love it. Our queen dropping sweet bombs. If even Daniel isn't good enough, Lily really is the heroine we stan. And then the camera suddenly cut to me. I blinked twice, gave a sheepish grin, and said, "I don't have anything to do with Best Actor Gray either." The comment section fell into a stunned silence before erupting. Wow. Even the moon isn't out of reach for some. Gray, this is the worst slander I've ever experienced. This girl is a special guest? Is the crew drunk? You guys don't get it. Katie probably slept with some rich backer. Big money. If Lily's family didn't have connections, she'd be kicked out already. Disgusting. I stole a glance at the comment section and saw Lily nodding in satisfaction. I let out a quiet sigh of relief. If only they knew, their beloved goddess Lily was actually my financial backer. Good thing she was pleased. Otherwise, I might never get such a sweet deal again. Daniel frowned, clearly displeased, and shot me a look full of condescending pity. "Katie," he said from above like some noble messiah, "you don't have to demean yourself like this. If you really need help, I can talk to the company and give you a bit of my traffic." I almost rolled my eyes out of my skull. Had we not been filming, I'd have slapped him right then and there. Half of my current negative reputation came from him trampling on me, and now he had the nerve to offer me a handout? From nearby, Lily coughed twice. My smile froze instantly. I quickly softened my expression, ready to spit out a few sugary compliments to get by. No need. I'll earn her traffic for her. The voice came from my left, unfamiliar, yet strangely recognizable. I whipped my head around. Patrick? Patrick. Patrick? What the hell? Patrick's lips curled into the faintest of smirks. Miss me already, sis? Ladies and gentlemen? I died. But clearly, no one mourned my tragic passing. At dinner, Patrick's table was swarmed with people. I, on the other hand, quietly found a corner and focused on clearing every grain of rice from my bowl. Halfway through, a wave of bitterness rose in my throat. This food was delicious, who knew when I'd get to eat anything this good again? At some point, Daniel sat down beside me with his tray. Now do you see? Patrick's just playing with you. Only I genuinely care about you. Trying to maintain his on-camera image, Daniel kept his eyes lowered and ate gracefully. I looked around, unsure if he was really speaking to me. And sure enough, he was. Delivering a line straight out of a manipulative dating playbook, one hated by millions of women. I stared at him wide-eyed. Seriously? You spend your days faking a couple with Lily, your nights singing at KTV, exactly when do you have time to love me? In your dreams? Daniel seemed caught off guard by my resistance. He frowned. You don't actually think you're still in demand, do you? Think carefully. With your reputation in the industry, who else would want you but me? Before I could even reply, Daniel stood and left, exuding an air of misplaced confidence. I glanced toward Patrick. His gaze swept over my face before settling in Lily's direction. Lily was different. While other guests looked nervous talking to Patrick, she remained poised and self-assured. Patrick even nodded politely as she spoke. The two seemed to get along well. Suddenly, the food in my bowl lost all appeal. As I poked at my rice, I caught the fleeting trace of a smile on Patrick's face. There was no filming at night. Back in my room, I collapsed onto the bed in exhaustion. Just then, a notification popped up. My manager had sent a group red envelope. Katie's reputation hit a new low again today. Bonus for everyone. Keep up the great work. I blinked at the message. I knew it was self-inflicted pain, but my finger still instinctively tapped on the day's livestream recording. The comments were predictable. Half were, "Lily is so gorgeous. Wife. Wife. Crying in love. No wonder she's such an outstanding woman, she can talk effortlessly with equally outstanding men. Anyone notice? Patrick only responds when Lily speaks to him. That's the crown prince we're talking about?" The other half were, "Katie's at it again. Not famous, but always mooching, first Lily, then Best Actor Gray, now even Patrick. Let her try. This dumb fake green tea probably doesn't know, the last one who tried mooching off Patrick got exiled to Africa. Check out the way Katie the green tea *TCH looks at our Lily. That's pure envy, baby. LOL? What if Katie's sugar daddy got annoyed and pushed her into the show just to get her blacklisted by President Jones? Loki think that's exactly what happened. I read every single toxic comment, blank-eyed, like my soul had floated out of my body. The scrolling text sneered and snarled, trying to pull me into a pit of despair. Suddenly, ding-dong. The doorbell rang, snapping me back to reality. Who would be visiting me at this hour? I wasn't close with any of the other guests. Could it be Patrick? My heart skipped a beat. Remembering the rumors about him sending girls to Africa made me tense. But oddly enough, what followed was relief. Clinging to a sliver of hope, I opened the door. And found Lily standing there. She wore a red dress, just like me. But unlike me, her expression was laced with arrogance, clearly the product of a life spoiled by adoration. She stared at me coldly, like a snake sizing up its prey, nothing like the warm, elegant persona she projected on camera. What's your relationship with Patrick? I looked at her blankly. What's it to you? Are we even close enough to talk about this? Lily let out a snort. You think I want to be close to you? She sneered. I'll be blunt. Stop chasing Patrick, he's mine. My brain glitched. No wonder this girl fancied Daniel, they were a perfect match. I shook my head with a TSK. This industry is messier than I thought. Not in the mood to entertain her tantrum, I turned to shut the door. Lily clearly hadn't expected that reaction. Her face twisted in frustration. She grabbed the door and hissed, "Don't think I don't know what happened between you and Patrick at the bar that night." Her lips curled into a smile. What do you think would happen if I made it public? What do you want? If that story got out, even if Patrick didn't mind, the Jones family, an old money dynasty, would never tolerate such a scandal. My knuckles turned white as I gripped the doorknob. There was nothing more disgusting than being cornered like this. 5 million. Leave Patrick. Lily dropped a card in front of me, eyes filled with smug certainty. I didn't hesitate and reached out to take it, only for her to let go just before my fingers touched it. The card spun and fell to the floor. Just like the last shreds of my dignity. She leaned closer, voice sickly sweet. You couldn't even hold on to Daniel, someone who matched you in status. What makes you think you can keep Patrick? Stop dreaming, sis. 5 million on the floor. Along with my tattered pride. Of course, I knew what I should do. Just as I bent down to pick up the card, Lily did something unexpected. She quickly snatched it up and shoved it into my hand, her tone suddenly playful. Well then, I'll leave it to you, sis. Sleep tight. I turned my head, and there he was. Patrick. Lily gave him a bright wave. President Jones, good night. Patrick gave a small nod, as aloof and silent as ever, like a man incapable of speech. Lily pouted and bounced away like a pampered little bunny. Patrick didn't even spare her a glance. With long legs and steady steps, he walked straight toward me. I tried to shut the door quickly, but once again, I failed. Patrick didn't hesitate to wedge his fingers into the gap. In order to avoid becoming a viral headline tomorrow for breaking the Crown Prince's hand, I reluctantly opened the door again. What do you want, exactly? I asked in defeat. Patrick frowned. You'd rather talk to her than talk to me? Why did everyone seem to have so much to say? I let out a half-laugh and flopped into a chair. Fine. Say what you need to say. Patrick raised an eyebrow. About last night? I immediately straightened in alarm. Is President Jones planning to hold me accountable? That couldn't be right. If he really wanted to settle the score, I'd probably already be en route to Africa. The air grew suddenly heavy. After a long pause, Patrick stepped closer, leaning over the back of the chair and staring into my eyes. You've already taken advantage of me, sis, he said slowly. Don't you think you should take responsibility? What? Excuse me? Wasn't this guy mute just moments ago? Now he's suddenly a full-blown flirt? I tried to suppress the pounding in my chest, but it was no use. I blinked up at him. This man who usually wore a cold, unreadable mask now looked down at me with the ghost of a smile. His eyes, once aloof, sparkled like shattered stardust. His shirt hung loosely, revealing faint red marks that hadn't yet faded. Something stirred inside me. I reached up and gently touched his brow, then chuckled. You're looking for compensation, aren't you? Including the part where you got my name wrong, he replied. His lips were mere inches from mine. He might as well have had, "Just kiss me and I'll forgive you," tattooed on his forehead. I turned away, trying to calm my nerves. How about I give you a gift, something even Daniel never got? Patrick's curiosity was piqued. He stood and took a deep breath. I'm intrigued. Honestly, when I saw you talking to Daniel earlier today, I felt a bit. His words trailed off when he noticed me removing my clothes. What are you doing? He asked, voice tightening. I pulled down a shoulder strap, my movement stiff. Giving you a gift. I bullied you once, now I'm making it up to you. Patrick stared at me. The spark in his eyes dulled. That's your gift? I couldn't meet his gaze, but my hands kept moving. Yes. Not even Daniel ever got this. He abruptly turned away, yanked off his jacket, and tossed it over my head. His voice was like frost. So you're giving me a heartless body? He paused, teeth clenched. Katie, do I really seem that pathetic to you? I clutched the half-removed dress and looked up at him. Don't you like it? Patrick's face twisted with fury. He slammed the door on his way out. The hotel must be good, because even that sounded muted. I stood in place for a while before dragging myself back to bed, utterly drained. That night, I had a dream. In it, I was back with Daniel. He was still the radiant college boy who had once pursued me with reckless devotion, all because he liked me. He'd showered me with attention every single day. Weekly gifts. Planned dates. His love had once blazed like the sun, unyielding even when I hesitated. To someone like me, who had grown up starved for affection, it was irresistible. I fell headfirst into his arms, giving him everything I had without hesitation. Even though he never introduced me to anyone publicly. I didn't care. With a love that fierce, how could people not know? Of course there was no need to make it official. What a convenient excuse, one I had crafted for him myself. But I hadn't expected him to aim for the entertainment industry. No matter how passionate, campus romance meant nothing in showbiz. Everything could be rewritten. I had my doubts, we were both from rural backgrounds. How could we ever carve out a space in such a cutthroat world? But when I saw his once proud self start to crumble under pressure, I gave in. I followed his agent's suggestion and joined the industry too. Became Daniel's loyal lapdog. No matter who his on-screen partner was, I played the jealous wreck, the desperate pursuer on the sidelines. Every time he got a new pairing, I'd play the villain, throwing shade, acting catty, even hiring fake haters to create drama. Each time, he'd play the righteous hero, publicly scolding and rejecting me, defending even the most half-baked ship. That's how he rose to fame. They called him a national couple icon. And what did I get? A wave of hate, endless slander, and rotten eggs flung at my head the moment I appeared in public. I remembered how I'd once been forced to my knees by reporters, trembling with fear. In my dream, Daniel clutched Lily's hand and sneered, "Beg me. If you beg, I'll help you." I was drowning in a swamp of filth, reaching out toward them in desperation. Then, out of nowhere, Patrick appeared. He stared at me, annoyed. "So you're the woman who crawled into my bed?" He turned to his men. "Take her. Send her to Africa." Suddenly, two burly men swooped in and dragged me out of the dream. The next morning, my alarm clock yanked me back to reality. Yesterday's dizziness had vanished entirely. I lay in bed, blinking at the ceiling, laughing at the absurd dream. Honestly, what was there to fear? Worst case, I'd go to Africa. I reached for my phone, only to hiss and pull back from the heat. The screen was exploding with notifications. It took a full 5 minutes to stabilize. When I finally opened Weibo, the first thing I saw was Patrick's gold-verified account and a single post: "What do you do when you fight with your girlfriend?" Me? A scumbag indeed. Last night, he was all tender words and bedroom eyes, and now he's got a girlfriend? I clutched the bank card in my hand with relief. At least money would never betray me. Curious, I scrolled down to check the replies. Just be direct, bro. Sincerity is always a killer move. Use your words. I've said it 1,000 times, the best CEOs talk. This one's easy. Never side with the problem, always side with your girlfriend. My dad has a girlfriend? I want to know who my mom is in the next minute. Within one night, his post had racked up tens of millions of comments. Even crazier, Patrick was replying to the top 3. Soon after, Patrick posted another Weibo update. To clarify, Miss Katie did not try to ride my popularity during yesterday's livestream. I agreed to help her gain some exposure. Thank you for your support, but please refrain from personal attacks against her. There will be consequences otherwise. Lastly, don't be afraid. I've got your back. Like a slender waist vanishing beyond the palace gates. As soon as the post went up, a legal blogger with the ID Jones Legal reposted it with a caption: "Message received. Mission accepted." Me? Everyone. Lily texted frowny face, "You took my money and didn't do a damn thing?" Wait, what? I didn't even know any of this. For a moment, the comment section fell eerily silent. Then, "Bro, you really know how to hit a straight ball." That one almost knocked me out. Jones Legal's survival instincts are legendary. I'm crying. No one better dare badmouth my mom again. Out. All of you. So what if she's with Patrick? How long will it last? Does that erase everything she's done to other actresses? Are we trusting Katie? No, we're trusting Mr. Jones's judgment. Take your bitterness elsewhere. Where is Katie's family? Hey! Legal notice incoming for that comment. Thanks to Patrick's protection, my hate comments started to fade rapidly. And for the first time, I knew what it felt like to be shielded by someone. It felt pretty damn good. I leapt out of bed, forgetting even to put on shoes, and bolted for the door. The moment I opened it, boom. Ran straight into Patrick's chest. Trembling slightly, I held up my phone to show him. Patrick glanced down at me, voice stiff. I didn't mean to spread rumors that you were my girlfriend. But I really didn't know how else to make you stop being mad at me. I looked at the dark circles under his eyes, the bloodshot rims. The part of me hardened by years of filleting fish softened just a little. But then I remembered. My 5 million. I burst into tears. My 5 million yuan. Patrick. In the end, I still didn't get to return that money to Lily. Because she was hospitalized. Patrick, utterly unfazed, explained, they taught me to deal with problems directly. I only went to ask her something. But she didn't answer properly, then tried to crawl into my lap. I looked up in disbelief. So you just tossed her out? And that's it? He raised an eyebrow. What else was I supposed to do? Patrick stared at me with visible displeasure. I scratched my nose guiltily, too ashamed to speak the thought that had just crossed my mind. Because of Lily's injury, the reality show was temporarily suspended. As I prepared to return home, Patrick muttered behind me like a sulky teenager, "You're ditching me again? Heartless woman, heartless woman, heartless woman." I couldn't help laughing. I pulled him into a hug. How could I abandon you? I know the difference between 5 million and many 5 millions. Patrick stiffened slightly. You said it. If you lie, I'll throw me to Africa? I suddenly remembered his infamous reputation and looked up in horror. Patrick yanked me back into his arms, gritting his teeth. Idiot. Stop believing those absurd rumors. His signature woody scent filled my nose. I sighed contentedly. But you still haven't confessed to me. The words slipped out before I could stop them. I immediately regretted it. Damn it. Why was I trying to talk romance with a rich man? How incredibly hurtful. Trying to save him from the embarrassment, I quickly grabbed my suitcase and bolted. I didn't see him standing behind me, his expression dim. Because in truth, I had lied to Patrick. I wasn't just leaving, I was going to find Lily. You guys. Blacklist Katie for me. She bullied me. She made Patrick bully me. If it weren't for her, I wouldn't have crashed. My face wouldn't be like this. I had no idea how long she screamed before a soft female voice tried to intervene. Lily, you should rest for now. Get out. All of you, get out. Amid the clatter of thrown objects, a middle-aged couple walked out of the hospital room, faces heavy with displeasure. I narrowed my eyes slightly. The truth I'd long suspected was now plain as day. I watched it all calmly, without the slightest urge to help. Until Lily's mother spotted me. She suddenly snapped, like a mother beast whose nest had been raided, and stormed toward me. She slapped me hard across the face. How dare you hurt Lily? You filthy little wretch. When her hand lifted for a second slap, I caught her wrist mid-air. My voice was ice cold. That slap? Consider it repayment for giving birth to me. Don't push your luck. Both of them froze in shock. Lily shrieked again from inside the room. Katie, get out. I don't want to see you. Mom, Dad, call the police. Lily's father narrowed his eyes at me. You're Katie? I nodded. Yes. Lily's mother's eyes burned red. You're no daughter of mine. Can't even take care of your own sister, what good are you? Looking at the biological parents who felt nothing toward me, I couldn't stop myself from laughing. Lily's father coughed awkwardly, steadying his furious wife. Since you're our child too, you should be grateful. Taking care of your sister is your duty. Grateful? I tilted my head, pretending to be puzzled. His face twitched slightly for the first time. I spoke slowly, deliberately. Grateful for what? For you abandoning me to chase some romantic dream around the world? Grateful for being left to pick through trash with Grandma just to survive? Or for how you didn't even show up when she died? Did either of you even remember that I was only 12 back then? I hadn't cried when I lived through it. Hadn't cried while working my small body to the bone. But when I saw a flicker of guilt flash across Lily's mother's face, my vision blurred. How pathetic. After a long silence, Lily's mother said with forced calm, if you're willing to give Patrick to Lily and leave the entertainment industry, we'll let you return to our family. Just then, Lily shuffled out, her head wrapped like a rice dumpling. That's right, she sneered. I'm being so generous letting you come back. I might even let you call me sister. You still like Daniel, right? I'm not above throwing him your way. Lily's father nodded with pride. Our Lily has really matured. He turned to me with a self-important air. Since your sister is already making concessions, you should go pack up and move in. One condition, you can't ever see Patrick again. I was silent. For a moment, I didn't know if I should hate them for abandoning me, or thank them for it. Because I would have to give up Patrick, the one who stood by me without hesitation. And go crawling to the parents who discarded me, and a sister obsessed with stealing my man? I smiled and shook my head. Too bad. Whatever bond we had died with Grandma. Lily's father scowled. Ungrateful brat. What nonsense are you spouting? Then. Katie is speaking. Can't you hear her? Yes, Mr. Jones. Patrick's cold voice sliced through the tension, instantly silencing Lily's father. Patrick gently pulled me behind him. We're grateful you brought Katie into this world, he said coolly. So, as an exception, let's leave them a small company. Lily's parents glared at me coldly. Ungrateful. Then they turned toward Patrick. Mr. Jones, both Lily and Katie are our daughters. Personally, I believe Lily is a much better match for you. Surely, you understand who marrying would bring you better support? I burst out laughing. Support? You think he needs your help? What kind of plastic bag does your family manufacture? It's holding a whole lot of delusions. Patrick squeezed my hand in silent appreciation. I had suspected Patrick wasn't exactly a good guy, but I didn't expect him to be this gloriously ruthless. He gave the three of them a company that had exactly 4 positions, including the boss. Just as I was wondering who the fourth poor soul might be. Suddenly, the trending list on social media exploded. Best actor sleeps his way up. Daniel leaked photos. So that's how he got his award. Dating the best actor is wild. I stared at the screen, stunned. Nearly half of the trending topics were Daniel-related. It only took 2 days for Daniel to reach the same peak of infamy I once endured. Jones Legal truly lived up to Patrick's standards. They even uncovered how much I had spent on Daniel during our college relationship, down to the last cent. Boss's wife, say the word. Whatever dirt you want dropped, we'll make it rain. Crush him. I sent back a simple okay and opened the files Jones Legal had sent. What I hadn't expected was this: Daniel and Lily had gotten involved before I ever entered the entertainment industry. It was Lily's idea to step on me to boost herself. To throw me off, Daniel had deliberately created multiple fake CP, couple pairing, rumors, just to use them as smokescreens for Lily. They even spent a fortune hiring trolls to attack me online and bury my name. I had suspected a lot, but I hadn't guessed everything. Whether Daniel genuinely loved Lily or just had a very specific kink. That hard-won Best Actor award? It was bought with his body. Yes, literally with his body. In the video, he clung to a man with a bulging belly, giggling sweetly and wrapping his arms around him. He draped himself bonelessly across the man's shoulder and cooed for a Princess Carrie. I turned to stone. Then hurled the tablet across the room. Ah! Someone pay big bucks for a pair of eyes that hasn't seen this. Emma stirred her coffee and snorted. Didn't I tell you he was scum? But knew, you wouldn't listen to your bestie. Got what you deserved. Good thing your instincts kicked in once Lily showed up. If you hadn't dumped him then, who knows what kind of hell you'd be in now. I clung to Emma's arm, wailing dramatically. Never in my life had I imagined my ex-boyfriend would turn out to be girlier than me. Just as I was shoving desserts into my mouth to suppress the nausea, someone grabbed me and dragged me outside. I glanced back to see Emma still on the phone. I wanted to cry. I was pulled into a dimly lit stairwell. The man was wrapped tightly from head to toe, breathing heavily. I took 2 cautious steps back. As he moved closer, I narrowed my eyes. Daniel? There was a small but distinct mole near his eye, left uncovered. Trembling, Daniel tore off his mask and hat. Katie, you could still recognize me like this. That means you still care about me, right? Let's get back together. I stared. I laughed bitterly. Daniel, honestly, did I treat you poorly? You cheated on me with Lily, fine. But then you slept with a male judge for an award? And now you want to get back together? With you, you absolute at #%? Sorry, couldn't hold it in. Daniel didn't seem fazed. He threw his arms around me. Baby, don't be mad. I was wrong. From now on, I'll love only you. Please don't leave me again. My friends. I shattered. Thankfully, Patrick arrived just in time. When he saw my tear-filled eyes, he didn't hesitate. He grabbed Daniel by the neck and slammed him to the floor. Knee on his gut, he rained punches down on him, fist after fist. Daniel's howls echoed through the stairwell. It was cathartic to watch, but something still felt lacking. So I gathered my courage and walked over to kick him twice. Ugh. Just the thought of him hugging me made my skin crawl. Gross, 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 I needed to be purified. Katie, save me, ah! Daniel was finally dragged away. Patrick stood there, silent, hand dripping blood. I saw the skin on one of his knuckles had peeled back. My heart ached as I gently held his hand. Does it hurt? Katie. Patrick leaned against the wall and wrapped me in his arms, his eyes red. Are you looking at me, or are you seeing him through me? Who? His familiar scent wrapped around me, and for a moment, my mind short-circuited. Then I realized something was off about his mood. Patrick closed his eyes briefly, his grip loosening. Daniel. I gasped and clamped my hand over his mouth. Have some mercy. He pulled my hand away, finally regaining his composure. But, the first night, when you were drunk, you called out his name. I went quiet for a long moment. Didn't I spend that whole night absolutely wrecking you? Patrick froze. I thought that was just your preferred kink. Me? What was wrong with rich people's brains? Ever since Daniel had approached me, Patrick's people had gone into overdrive. In just 2 days, they'd wrapped everything up. They exposed how Daniel had manipulated my social media accounts, made me look like a pathetic fangirl, and orchestrated smear campaigns against me. Then they held a press conference to officially blacklist Daniel from the industry. Wow, Katie was right, this industry is a mess. He gave up his ride-or-die girlfriend to become a gold-digging actor. Karma's real. Katie was always being stepped on, never got lead roles. But she's a gold medal supporting actress. No one ever noticed. Damn that bad Gray. I hated Katie for so long. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, I'm sorry. I curled up on the sofa, scrolling through the comments with glee. Years of resentment and humiliation, finally released. Just then, Jones Legal messaged me. A video file. Secretly recorded from a corner. In it, Daniel, covered in rotten eggs, stumbled into Lily's pathetic 4-person company, begging for a job. Lily, face full of scars, screamed and shoved him out. But Daniel, unaware of the phone still recording, said something that made Lily fall to her knees, sobbing uncontrollably. His voice was venomous. If you don't marry me, I'll leak these videos to your dad's enemies. Let's see what happens then. I shivered. Without hesitation, I crawled straight into Patrick's arms for comfort. He looked confused while typing on his laptop, but still reached out, gently patting my back. Who knew? Sleeping with a rich man, and actually being loved by one? Unbeatable. I was completely in love. Although Patrick and I were now happily living together, he still hadn't officially confessed to me. That thought suddenly struck me in the middle of our picnic, and I shot him a sorrowful glance. Patrick ignored me entirely and simply dragged me over to the grass. Typical, now that he had me, he didn't cherish me anymore. I made up my mind, as soon as we got home, I was going to pick a fight with him. Katie, he suddenly said, do you remember this place? Still stewing in my own anger, I looked around blankly. Isn't this the town where I used to live with Grandma? Patrick gently ruffled my hair. Then, do you remember a little boy you once found here? My mind lit up with realization. Of course, I used to be a total facecon when I was little. I had spotted a lonely little boy sitting on the ground with an ice-cold expression, and my heart had been pierced on the spot. I had just received lunch from Grandma that day. Without hesitation, I offered him one of the lunchboxes. He hesitated, eyeing my disheveled, raggedy appearance, but eventually accepted it. He told me he had just run away from the orphanage and had nowhere to go. So I took him to the little forest cabin I had built with my own hands. Every day, we shared food and played together. But, he never talked much. He never even told me his name. We shared those tough yet joyful days, until the day he suddenly disappeared. I searched the entire town for him, but everyone said they hadn't seen him. So, that little boy was you. I clenched my fist, ready to punch him the second he confessed. How dare he leave without a word? Incredible. Patrick nodded. Yeah. Back then, I had no name and no home. Later, someone from the Jones family came and took me away. I left you a letter, but it seemed you didn't see it. You never came to find me. When I came back looking for you, you were already gone. Katie, I've been searching for you for 10 years. My clenched fist froze in place. I scratched my nose guiltily. Right. I vaguely remembered something like that. I'd taken the letter and, oh God, I'd used it to light Grandma's stove. Patrick just smiled warmly and gently pulled me into his arms like I was a precious treasure. So, Katie, I like you. Will you be with me? I wiped away the drool that had accidentally leaked from the corner of my eye and nodded like my life depended on it. Suddenly, the dark sky above us erupted in a burst of cherry blossom-shaped fireworks. I leaned into Patrick amidst the dazzling brilliance. So, I murmured, if you like me that much, can you do that hip-wiggling dance you used to seduce me on the first day again? Patrick flicked my forehead hard. You've seriously been a facecon your whole life. Clutching my head, I teared up. You jerk. You got me and now you don't treasure me. I'm breaking up with you. He sighed helplessly and pinched my cheek. I'll dance it for you when we get home. Yay!